I just need to get the guitar in the hands of a real goofy goober. The goofiest goober. I need to give the guitar to SpongeBob. When you're bored, season 2. It's time for season 2. Woo! Who's ready?
All hail Plankton! All hail Plankton!
What's up? Today I'm gonna be making the Goofy Goober guitar from the first SpongeBob movie. But I also want it to be a working electric guitar. But I've never made a guitar before, so I think the best way to do it is to take an existing guitar and modify it to look like the Goofy Goober guitar. The real question is, how am I gonna turn this into this? Well, it turns out the Goofy Goober guitar is actually an impressive engineering achievement. And to be honest, it's a little overwhelming. So I'm gonna split it into 3 main components, and I'll tackle them one at a time. The first being that iconic GG headstock. Since I wanted the guitar to stay functional, I had to design the new headstock to fit perfectly over the existing headstock and do it in a way that lets me tune the guitar still, which is tough because the existing headstock is such a strange shape, and if I'm off just a little bit, my headstock could interfere with like the strings or the tuners, and so much could go wrong. Luckily, we're not cavemen. We have technology. Specifically, photogrammetry. No, not photogrammetry. Photogrammetry. Photogrammetry is basically the opposite of photography. In photography, you're taking a 3D object and projecting it onto a 2D plane to take a photo. In photogrammetry, you're taking data from a 2D plane or a bunch of 2D planes and turning it into a 3D object, which is just insane, but it's perfect for what I need to do. So if I take a series of images of the existing headstock from every angle and feed it into this software, eventually, after a lot of computing, it can recreate the headstock in 3D. And I can use that as a reference to model the GG around. And the more photos you take, the more accurate the model. And here's what I got. If you look closely, I actually glued a 1 centimeter cube onto the headstock that gave me a size reference. And then I started modeling around it. It was really important that this model was robust and solid in the way that it attached to the guitar. So my solution had 3 parts. A little apparatus that I can screw to the guitar, spacers that leave enough clearance for the strings and the tuners, and then the case itself. And since now I had an accurate model of the existing headstock, it was easy, and I could make the allowances really small. And after some 3D printing, it was real, and it worked. I even put magnets in each side of the case so it stuck together perfectly, but you could still take the back off if you needed to tune it. And once I got that part done, I knew it was gonna work. And the next main component is the body of the guitar. But the guitar I bought looked nothing like a peanut, and there were a few ways I could fix that. I could scrap the whole existing body and make a new one out of wood, but I looked at it and noticed the only problem was this top part. So if I just cut those parts off and 3D print new ones in the right shape, it would end up being a little easier with the tools I had. So that's what I did. And if you're really into building guitars, this part's probably horrible to watch, but it worked. I also needed a solution to get rid of the pick guard, but keep the electronics that are inside. I modeled and printed a little spacer that kept the pickups and the knobs in the same place, and I screwed them in. It wasn't perfect, but I knew I was gonna fill any gaps with wood filler anyways and sand the crap out of it. Then I modeled these little spirally decoration things and noticed the top ones can interfere with playing the guitar. My solution was just to design a way to take them off if you wanted and put them back on if you change your mind. Then I secured the bottom spirally thing to this little GG plate that I made. And that brings us to the third and final component, the paint job. I knew all this hard work could be stifled if I didn't give it the paint job it deserved. It was all masked, primed, spray painted, and sealed over the course of about 3 weeks. The hardest parts were the neck and masking off the individual frets, and also getting the color on the body right. I used a combination of about 6 or 7 different colors with like 20 light coats on the body alone. Okay, so the guitar is done, and I'll show it to you in a second, but there's like a huge problem. I can't get it to blast like it does in the movie, and I'm trying to save my boys. I've tried everything, and the only possible explanation I can think of is I'm not a goofy enough goober. And trust me, I didn't want to find out this way. But if I don't accept the truth, I'm not solving the right problem. And all of a sudden, the solution is obvious. I just need to get the guitar in the hands of a real goofy goober. The goofiest goober. I need to give the guitar to SpongeBob. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fly to LA, I'm gonna find Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob, and I'm gonna give him the guitar in hopes that he's goofy enough to get it to work. But before I do that, here it is. The only Goofy Goober guitar in the world, I think.
It's time for the moment you've been waiting for.
Okay, enough. I gotta get this guitar on the plane, find Tom Kenny, and save my boys. So this guitar has made it like across the country. It's a guitar, spoiler.
Whoa! He says that's a guitar. I don't believe it. Welcome, Goofy Goober guitar. I love it. It's a Goofy Goober guitar. I think you need to start mass producing these immediately. Come on.
Got some detail in there for you.
That is ridiculous. I gotta show these guys. What's your name again?
Kevin.
Kevin. Hi, Kevin. I gotta say it.
It's my favorite line.
I know. He probably hears that all the time.
So my boys have buckets on their heads.
Whoa!
And I don't know how to shoot the guitar. I was hoping you could do it for me.
Get out!
If you know how, just
Oh, great. Like,
let them have it.
I might help it.
Copy that, ISS. Video feed from Sat 1.
All hail Plankton. All hail Plankton.
That's awesome.
That's rad, man.
Thank you so much
That is freaking
for
rad.
accepting
How
it.
did that take you, a million years?
It took me about 3 months.
Oh my
so.
God, it's incredible.
Yeah, so this